Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and we have got the 3-star Shadowkin 21 finally done. I think I missed a day or something because I'm finishing it one rotation later than I should have. But anyway, got it done today, so I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the team that I'm using, and we'll talk about the boss you're going to be encountering on Shadowkin 21 and some of the things that are going on in the last stage so that you can try to build an effective team to go up against this content and be able to 3-star all of the stages you are up against. By far, the hardest thing is going to be stage 21 out of all the stages on here. So I'll show you my team and we'll have a quick conversation about Shadowkin 3 stars. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first off, let's go ahead and just show the run itself. I sped it up for you a little bit here just so you can watch it a little bit faster. I think it's at like 1.5 speed, and then I put the stats and the build and everything down there on the bottom right. So we'll talk about the boss here in a little bit after I show you the run. But what I had to do was I had to give Genbo some more toughness. He was down at like 25,000 HP. He was like an arena nuker, but I had to switch that around. You can see the HP set that I added to Genbo to make him a lot more sturdy. And just because he was dying, the boss hits pretty hard. The boss is pretty glass cannon, so if you can just kind of mitigate what it's doing, heal up, place shields, things like that, you shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble in terms of bursting it down, even with just the 2 damage dealers in Genbo and Ninja, and neither one being built as some insane nuker with like over 5,000 attack and 250 crit damage or anything. Genbo does have decent crit damage there at 267, but the attack is way lower than I would like because I gave him a lot more toughness. So still, the damage was not the issue. The boss does fall down pretty fast, even with just 2 DPSers, or even 1 if you just got like Ninja in there and you're able to sustain. So see, you can see the boss fight right here. There, when it steals and slams down, that's where it ignores defense and hits super hard. So you got to be careful there. That's where you are going to get one shot. And revivers are not easy to come by in the Shadowkin. So you're going to have to get like shields and ally protect and heals and be able to kind of mitigate this while you have time to burst down the boss. And sometimes you can brute force it. There's a little bit of RNG in the attacks and how hard they hit and who they hit. So you can kind of try it a bunch of different times and make sure and sit here and watch. If somebody dies and you get screwed over, restart, try again. But I was able to get it the first try once I gave Genbo some more toughness. So just as a quick refresher course up top, I have popped the information for the red boss he'll be facing in stage 21, and you can see when he did that ability where I did like the big AoE thing and then slammed down, you can see that's the A2 right there. Remove all debuffs from this champion, place a true fear debuff on a random enemy for 1 turn, and then place a stun debuff on all enemies except that enemy. These debuffs cannot be resisted. That's a big note there when it comes to fighting this boss, is that the resistance is not going to help you there. And then grant an extra turn. So that's when he does all that and then slams down. So I didn't get a whole lot of value out of the resistance aura on my leader, but unfortunately I didn't really have a good aura for Shadowkin. You would really want like speed or HP or something like that. Defense is not that amazing because you can see the A1 is going to attack 1 enemy and ignore the target's defense. So you really want a team that has HP and attack, because you want to be able to burst down the boss before it has enough chances to fear you and stun you and one-shot you with the A1. And you also want a lot of HP because you're not going to get a whole lot of toughness out of defense, basically none, because the A1 is going to ignore all of it. It's only going to help you on the waves. And he also has the passive there of fill this champion's turn meter by 2% for every 1% of HP they lose when attacked, and this is counted from damage taken per hit. So definitely a passive that'll help it kind of snowball a little bit, but all of the usable suspects are going to be good for debuffs. You're going to want decreased speed, decreased defense to burst it down faster, weaken, all that type of stuff. Poisons maybe not so great because this isn't a battle where it's attrition. This is a burst. You want to the boss has no minions or anything. You just want to nuke this boss down as fast as possible, break defense, weaken, hit it hard, burst it down. It doesn't have a whole lot of toughness or HP, so you can usually beat it in like 30 seconds to 1 minute, and the longer you stay in the fight, the more opportunities it has to start hitting you super hard, fearing you and getting lucky with some of those procs, debuffing you with the stuns, and if you don't have revivers, it can really snowball out of control really fast. And it's not that bad of a boss to beat, but to 3-star it is tough because of the fearing and the stunning and the ignoring of the defense on its default ability is going to hit super hard and one-shot a lot of your champions. So keep that in mind when you're trying to 3-star this. Even if you have a good team and good gear, it might take you some adjusting. Like on my account, I've been playing since the very beginning of Raid. I have a pretty solid account, and I still had to adjust things to make it work. I couldn't just walk in and auto it and 3-star. I did have to like go add HP to Genbo and shift some things around to make it work, and then I was able to go ahead and 3-star it once I added some toughness and some HP and just kind of optimize the team a little bit. Then quickly, the thought process behind the team. Taraji's really good as an epic because he's got a very reliable decrease attack on the A1, which is obviously insanely valuable in this fight because the boss ignores defense and hits super hard. So bringing a decreased attack on the A1 that's going to be reliable and being constantly placed on there is essential, and that was the main reason of why I wanted to bring Taraji. But he also is going to play Shield, which is really good in this fight, and Ally Protect to help mitigate some of that damage. So Taraji is very, very good and is probably going to make his way into a lot of Shadowkin teams as an epic champion. Then Ninja, obviously, I don't really have to cover. He's a really good damage dealer, very generally useful. He's also got some CC for the waves and stuff. Lady Kimmy, the same, she's absolutely incredible. It's unfortunate her speed aura isn't in all battles, but just the A2 and the A3 here bring so much in terms of speed and accuracy manipulation. She's just amazing, and she's going to make her way into a lot of teams as well. Genbo was there to help Ninja be able to burst down the boss. You could play around with using Ninja as like your solo damage dealer maybe, and then Burunjiri is also there because of the strength, which is going to help us take less damage, and also Shield can come in pretty clutch there. And then he's got a little bit of utility versus the waves and stuff like that. So you're not going to get a whole lot of value out of that passive like you do in the Bommel scenario where you can like cheese it and do solo content. I mainly brought him for the strengthen and the shield. But now let's talk about the Shadowkin roster in general, and we'll see about possible replacements and other champions that could slot in and do pretty well. So first up for the legendaries, I'm not going to go through each individual one. The gist is you probably don't have a ton of Shadowkin legendaries because they are the newest faction. So if you do have a legendary champion, they're probably decent in the Shadowkin faction wars, and you'll probably be trying to use them. The exceptions might be Noble and Gamaran. Gamaran, it looks like he has a revive, but he doesn't. It's revive a random ally each time an enemy is killed, and the boss has no minions or anything. So when you kill the boss, the fight's going to be over. So you're not going to get a whole lot of value out of Gamaran, I don't think. So he might not be amazing, and Noble is probably viewed as the worst legendary here in the Shadowkin. You're probably not going to get a lot of value in him or from him in the boss fight. But all of the other ones I could see having their place, especially if you use them as like your DPSer or something like that. Typically, you're going to bring 3 or 4 supports and 1 or 2 DPSers, and a lot of these legendaries could be in either one of those roles. You have your damage dealers like Gentoro, Karato, Genzin, and you got your supports like Kyoku and Jingwan and stuff like that, and most of them will be pretty decent, and even the new one, Yumiko, it would be awesome because of like lowering skills and letting you get those abilities off again and kind of stack things off. So really, I mean, all these are going to have utility, so it'd be probably more important to talk about the epics and rares. And I think for the epics, the most popular ones will probably be Taraji and maybe Burunjiri. A lot of people may have already built Burunjiri for trying to do stuff versus Bommel, and he's got the strength and the shield and stuff. And Taraji, we talked about the super reliable attack down. Genbo can be the damage dealer if you don't have like Ninja or something. And like, there's a lot of them that are decent. Chinoru could be your damage dealer as well. But I think Fenchi could be the damage dealer. He's got the decreased speed also on the A1, which would be super good, and he can really crank out damage and do a bunch of stuff there for you, being one of those 1 or 2 damage dealers in your kit. So those will probably be like the 3 or 4 that mainly get used, but like the Shadowkin epics can be pretty decent. I just expect those to be the most commonly used ones. Then for the rares, there's really no great ones. There's no apothecary or something in here. For the rares, the Shadowkin rares are pretty underwhelming. Worth noting that Assassin does have a speed aura. It's 10%, but it is all battles, and he does do some poisons and decreased duration of all or increased duration of all debuffs, and can also place a weaken to go along with the speed aura. So Assassin would be decent maybe for faction wars, but there's really nothing a whole lot in the rare department to take note of other than that, unfortunately, in my opinion. So yeah, good luck on your journey to take down Shadowkin 21, and again, there's the stats on the bottom right and the team that I was using. So you know, some thresholds to keep in mind. You probably want to get a decent amount of HP, 35, 40,000, and kind of brute force it and try to wait until the stars align. And the damages have ranges, so there's a pretty decent range on how hard you're gonna hit. You can really try a few different times. If you're really close and just can't quite get it, maybe like save your key, draw back out, try again, and wait until things get a little bit better for you. There's a little bit of RNG and some ranges on how hard he's gonna hit you. But anyway, that is it for me on my journey to finish Shadowkin 21 and 3-star all of the content. Let me know what you think down below, what teams you're using. If I undersold the champion or if I forgot to mention something, I would always appreciate it if you take the time to drop that down below so that people can see that when they are reading through as well. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.